right, so I'm here with Kale at 7th Generation Jiu Jitsu. What's going on, my man?
What's going on, brother?
Just got done with kids' classes. It's Tuesday here at 7th Generation, and when we started doing this, I always said I didn't want to do kids' classes, right?
I understand.
Well, we got a big kids program now, so we just finished up with that. So how's everything going for you?
Pretty good, man. Just got done with a little bit of vacation time, and now it's just back into full fight camp mode.
Yeah, so you got a big fight coming up. Let's talk a little bit about your last fight. So your last fight was a professional MMA bout,
Yes.
and you did really, really well. I was there in the corner, and super exciting fight. Like, man, probably one of the best fights of the night. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how that went?
Yeah, it was a tough fight. The guy I was fighting, he fights and trains under Doug Marshall, so he came from a pretty good pedigree fight school. He did very good. Even though I won, he did very well as well. Catching the kick, getting me on the ground. I know he's got some good technique as far as his jiu-jitsu goes too. So it was a wild ride, but I was able to really gas him out, even though I was getting tired, and just wear him down. And he ended up just tapping out essentially after the second round.
Yeah, so this guy was or is a black belt.
Yes.
A Team Elite black belt.
Yes.
Obviously, has a really good pedigree because Tom runs an outstanding school in Visalia, and he trains under Doug Marshall, who is a former world champion, WEC champion, and one of the original OGs here in Fresno. So why don't you kind of walk us through that first round of the fight? So he did take you down.
Yeah, he took me down, had good pressure, but I was able to hear you when I had him like a half guard. I heard you say roll to the right, and I wasn't sure if that was going to work, but I was just going to listen anyway, and I went for it, and thankfully it got me out of that really bad position because I was flattened out, and went to work from there.
Yeah, and that really kind of changed the perception of the fight. I feel like
it was a turning point.
It was a turning point.
Early.
Yeah, definitely a turning point. I feel like you were definitely, ready to go for the fight, but after you were able to get the reversal, end up on top, man, you just started rolling. And then from there, I felt like you pretty much took control for the rest of that round.
Yeah.
And then tell us about the second round.
Second round was just more of a slugfest. In the first half, I started catching him with some good straights and some just really good jabs. And that, I think about 2.5 minutes towards the end of the round, these are 5-minute rounds, he finally just he got caught and fell. So then I just was on top of him the rest of that round. We kind of got into some different positions. Like, he did try to go for a couple of like knee bars and other attacks, but I got out of that and then just kept the pressure on, started dropping elbows, and then that was the end of the round.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty brutal exchange. I mean, it definitely wasn't, two guys out there trying to play it safe. You guys were going for it.
Yeah, I really wanted to get the finish on that fight, just to prove to myself that I could, get that type of win.
Yeah. So at the end of the second round, I mean, you probably hit him, and this is no exaggeration, at least 25 good shots with elbows to the body, to the head. Mm-hmm. And then tell us about at the end of the second round.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of gassed myself at the end of that round, just I was trying to finish it. And then the bell rang, and I was super tired, but I was able to pull myself up. But he never ended up getting up. He couldn't even make it to his chair.
So he pretty much tapped out.
Yeah, they counted as a verbal submission. They threw the towel in for him, and that was that.
Yeah, and the looks of things, I mean, obviously you beat him pretty good.
I felt like I did. We had some really good exchanges, and it's just more things I need to improve upon for this next fight.
Yeah, so obviously, you have a little following that you've created over the years through kickboxing, through your jiu-jitsu, now your MMA. You got yourself another bout. Tell us a little bit about the opponent. I'm familiar with him, and he's very game. Has actually really good ground game, and his stand-up, he's pretty proficient on his feet as well.
Yeah, so my opponent's name is James Delson, and I've seen him fight a couple of times over at some other promotions, and I know he's game. He don't back down for nothing, so he's going to be a tough opponent.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this now that we're back to MMA.
Me too.
How excited are you for this bout, and where is it going to take place? Kind of give us all the details.
Yeah, so I'm ultra excited. I love being in the ring or cage, whatever the match calls for. And we're going to be fighting at Table Mountain Casino, February 24th, 2024. It's on a Saturday, so, good for the weekend. And I have all the tickets on me, 55 for general, 75 for ringside, and then the Eventbrite link will let you get VIP tables as well.
Perfect. So where can people find you on social media? That way, if they want to buy tickets from you, because you get a portion of the ticket sales, correct?
Right. So you can find me on Instagram under Insano_BJJ. You can search me on Facebook as well under my name, Cale Melton, or here at Seventh Generation. You can pick them up from here at the gym.
Yeah, so we're here in the Clovis area. You guys go check out our IG, 7th Gen BJJ. And if you want to stop on in, you can come here. We're here pretty much every day throughout the week. 6 to 7:30 is our evening adult class. We do have kids classes here a couple times a week. And typically, you're around pretty much throughout the week. We do have no-gi days on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I know that, here at 7th Gen, we don't do a lot of stand-up here. So can you tell us a little bit just about your stand-up background and, who you've been training under, and just a little bit about your experience in that regard?
So I think about a little over 10 years ago when I was like 26, 27, I ended up getting into amateur kickboxing. I was training under John Cho at that time at John Cho's Kung Fu School. And that's kind of what got me started in that realm. Nowadays, I do a lot of pad work with my Muay Thai trainer, Mike. And then I also cross-train at other gyms such as Madeira Martial Arts to get like sparring rounds, and also Long Fist Kung Fu School.
Yeah, big shout out to those schools. And I am familiar with John Cho because he's one of my good friends. And
That's how we met.
yeah, that's how we met. So, Cale, just a little bit about 7th Generation, Jiu Jitsu. Cale was my first student. I helped him out with, was it your first MMA pro bout?
No,
No,
my
your first
amateur.
MMA amateur bout.
Yeah, 2 weeks before.
So I worked with Cale, and then we started a program maybe a couple weeks after that. And literally, my first student over 6 years ago, we're going on our 7th year. You're now a purple belt here at 7th Gen. And we've just slowly grown from putting together mats and taking apart mats every day to having a full-blown jiu-jitsu school academy program here in Clovis now. How surprised are you that we went from where we started to here, and maybe you can tell everybody kind of like how we've grown?
It's always amazing and surprising to me, like looking back, how far we've come from literally just me and you. And then we had we got like 1 or 2 people, Spencer, and a couple other guys like Marshall. And then now we're into our 3rd location. We were doing 2 days a week at John Cho's, and then a year or so later, we got our spot over out there by Clovis and Clinton. And now we're over here in the heart of Clovis, essentially, with a very professional-looking jiu-jitsu school.
Yeah, so we went from kind of subletting through John
We were
Cho.
renting space,
We were renting
essentially.
space, and had no clue this would turn out to be what it is today, and feel really blessed, very, very lucky, obviously, to have my very first student still with me. And you're a purple belt on your way to black belt. So can you tell us a little bit about our gym and just kind of what it's like for people who are not familiar with us?
So our gym is, I feel like it's more family friendly, but that doesn't mean that we can't, get good competition training here. We have everybody here that trains really hard, from the hobbyist all the way to the competitor, such as myself, competing on stages, IBJJF, JJWL, Fight to Win, and myself, competing on the professional stage of MMA.
Yeah, so we've done pretty much everything, IBJJF to Fight to Win, all the big organizations we fought in, and we've done very, very well competitively speaking. But it is a gym for everybody, and anybody who walks through the door somebody who's young, a little older, wants to lose some weight, wants to compete. There's a little something for everybody here.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the culture that we've created. Anything else you want to add maybe to people who are looking to train, possibly here in the future? Or just people encouraging people to train jiu-jitsu? Give it a shot.
Don't wait until you're in shape. Just start now. If you just keep thinking, oh, I'll wait until I'm in shape, you'll never get started. So just start. Training will get you in shape.
Right on, right on. Well, we're about ready for our 6 o'clock class. We have people arriving. Any last words about this fight?
I'm super excited. Hit me up for tickets. It's going to be a banger.
Yeah, so if you know anything about Kel, he always brings good energy. Usually his fights are typically the best on the card,
I feel like
in my
do,
view.
Pretty well as far as compared to the other fights.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you all, don't forget to follow Kel on what's your IG
Insano_BJJ on Instagram.
and Facebook.
My name, Kale Melton.
Kel Melton, and get those tickets. Table
Please.
Mountain Casino. Let's go, Kel. All right, y'all.